In the heart of Southeast Asia lies a country so extraordinary that its landscapes seem ripped from the pages of a fantasy novel. Thailand harbors places so surreal, so impossibly beautiful, that even seasoned travelers question whether they're real or computer-generated illusions. From floating markets that have operated for over 150 years to temples that appear to be made of pure gold, from islands that glow with bioluminescent plankton to caves filled with millions of bats, Thailand defies every expectation of what our planet should look like. Today, we're embarking on a journey through the most unbelievable destinations on Earth. Places where reality becomes more spectacular than any movie set, where ancient traditions create living art, and where nature has crafted masterpieces that challenge the very limits of imagination. These aren't just tourist destinations. They're portals to another world, hidden gems that will completely transform how you see both Thailand and the incredible diversity our planet has to offer. Thailand, known as the Land of Smiles, occupies a unique position in Southeast Asia that has shaped its extraordinary landscapes and cultural heritage for over 700 years. Stretching from the mountainous borders with Myanmar and Laos in the north to the tropical paradise of the Andaman Sea and Gulf of Thailand in the south. This kingdom encompasses an area of 513,120 square kilometers, roughly the size of France, yet contains more geographical diversity than entire continents. The country's strategic location at the crossroads of ancient trade routes has created a cultural melting pot where Buddhist temples rise alongside Muslim mosques, where Chinese influences blend seamlessly with Indian traditions, and where modern Bangkok's skyscrapers coexist with floating markets that have remained unchanged for centuries. Thailand is the only Southeast Asian nation never to have been colonized by European powers, allowing its unique culture and natural wonders to develop uninterrupted for millennia. From the cool mountains of Chiang Mai, where temperatures can drop to 5 degrees Celsius in winter, to the tropical beaches of Phuket, where it never falls below 23 degrees Celsius, Thailand's climate zones create microcosms of biodiversity that support over 10,000 plant species and 1,000 bird species. The monsoon seasons have carved limestone karsts into impossible shapes, created underground river systems that stretch for hundreds of kilometers, and nurtured rainforests so dense that new species are still being discovered every year. But what makes Thailand truly extraordinary isn't just its natural beauty. It's how 69 million Thai people have learned to live in harmony with these landscapes, creating a civilization that treats nature as sacred while building some of the most spectacular human achievements on Earth. This is a country where Buddhist monks bless skyscrapers before construction begins, where floating markets operate by the same principles they did 200 years ago, and where ancient engineering techniques still outperform modern technology. At 6 a.m., as mist rises from the canals 100 kilometers southwest of Bangkok, one of the world's most extraordinary marketplaces comes to life. Dam Noen Saduak Floating Market isn't just a tourist attraction. It's a 150-year-old economic ecosystem where over 200 vendors conduct business entirely from narrow wooden boats, creating a commercial Venice that predates its European counterpart by centuries. The market operates on a network of canals originally dug by King Rama IV in 1866 to connect the Thachin and Mae Klong rivers, creating a 32-kilometer waterway that transformed this region into Thailand's fruit basket. Today, these same canals support a floating economy where vendors paddle boats loaded with tropical fruits, vegetables, and prepared foods. Their vessels so perfectly balanced that a single vendor can navigate while simultaneously cooking, serving customers, and handling money. What makes this market truly surreal is its scale and precision. Over 1,000 boats navigate these narrow waterways daily, following traffic patterns and unwritten rules that have evolved over generations. Vendors specialize in specific products. The mango boats with their pyramids of golden fruit, the som tam boats where papaya salad is prepared fresh on floating kitchens, and the flower boats that create floating gardens of orchids and lotus blossoms. The engineering behind this floating city is remarkable. Each vendor boat is carved from a single piece of teak and designed with a shallow draft that allows navigation in water just 60 centimeters deep. The boats are so stable that vendors can stand, cook with open flames, and even sleep in them during busy periods. The market's logistics rival any modern distribution center. Suppliers arrive before dawn, goods are distributed through a complex network of middlemen, and waste is managed through a system that has achieved near-zero environmental impact for over a century. But perhaps most extraordinary is how this market has adapted to the modern world while maintaining its traditional character. Vendors now accept mobile payments while paddling wooden boats, use GPS to navigate canals their grandparents knew by heart, and post on social media while maintaining the same trading relationships their families have honored for generations. Rising from the rice fields of Chiang Rai like a crystalline vision, Wat Rong Khun appears to be carved from ice and snow rather than built from earthly materials. This isn't an ancient temple. Construction began in 1997. Yet it has already become one of the most photographed religious sites on Earth, a structure so otherworldly that visitors often question whether they're looking at a building or a mirage. The temple is the brainchild of artist Chalermchai Kositpipat, who envisioned a Buddhist temple that would represent the purity of Buddha's teachings through an entirely white structure, decorated with mirrors that catch and reflect light like diamonds. The result is a building that seems to glow from within, its surface so reflective that it appears to float above the ground on bright days. Every element of Wat Rong Khun challenges conventional temple design. The main hall is approached by crossing a bridge over a sea of reaching hands, representing desire and suffering that emerge from what appears to be the underworld. These aren't decorative elements. They're life-sized sculptures of human hands, over 1,000 of them, each individually crafted and positioned to create a field of grasping fingers that visitors must walk above to reach enlightenment. The temple's interior is equally surreal, featuring murals that blend traditional Buddhist imagery with contemporary pop culture references. Superman, Batman, and Neo from The Matrix appear alongside Buddha and traditional Thai deities, creating a visual narrative that spans from ancient mythology to modern cinema. The artist's message is that all human stories, whether ancient or contemporary, are part of the same spiritual journey. Construction of Wat Rong Khun is planned to continue for another 60 years, with a final complex covering 12 acres and including 9 buildings. The main temple alone required over 200 tons of white paint and thousands of mirrors, each piece of glass individually placed to create specific light effects throughout the day. At sunrise, the temple appears to be made of pearl. At sunset, it glows like molten silver, and under moonlight, it becomes an ethereal ghost floating in the darkness. What makes this temple truly extraordinary is its construction technique. Traditional Thai building methods are combined with modern materials to create structures that appear impossible. The ornate decorations that look like delicate lacework are actually reinforced concrete, painted and mirrored to create the illusion of fragility while being strong enough to withstand earthquakes and monsoons. Emerging from the Andaman Sea like the spines of sleeping dragons, the Phi Phi Islands represent nature's most dramatic architectural achievement. These limestone karsts, rising vertically from crystal-clear waters to heights of over 400 meters, create a landscape so spectacular that it served as the backdrop for Hollywood's vision of paradise in The Beach. yet the reality surpasses any movie magic. The 6 islands that make up the Phi Phi archipelago were formed over 20 million years ago when tectonic forces pushed ancient coral reefs above sea level, creating limestone cliffs that have been sculpted by wind and waves into impossible shapes. Phi Phi Dawn, the largest island, is connected by a narrow strip of sand just 800 meters wide, creating a natural hourglass shape that's visible from space. But it's Phi Phi Lei that truly defies belief. This uninhabited island harbors Maya Bay, a circular lagoon completely enclosed by 100-meter-high cliffs, accessible only through a narrow opening that's invisible until you're almost inside. The bay's beach consists of sand so fine it squeaks underfoot, while the water maintains a constant temperature of 28 degrees Celsius and visibility that extends to 30 meters underwater. The marine ecosystem surrounding these islands is equally extraordinary. The limestone cliffs continue underwater, creating a 3-dimensional reef system that supports over 200 species of fish. Leopard sharks patrol the deeper waters, while the shallows teem with parrotfish, angelfish, and schools of barracuda that move like silver tornadoes through the crystal-clear water. What makes Phi Phi truly surreal is how these towering cliffs create their own weather systems. The limestone absorbs heat during the day and releases it at night, creating thermal currents that generate clouds that form only around the peaks. This microclimate supports vegetation that exists nowhere else on Earth, including orchids that bloom only in the spray zone where waves crash against the cliffs. The island's caves add another layer of mystery. Viking Cave, accessible only by boat during low tide, contains ancient paintings created by seafaring peoples over 3,000 years ago. The cave also harbors one of Thailand's most valuable industries: swiftlet nests harvested for bird's nest soup, with premium nests selling for over $3,000 per kilogram. Deep in the Tenasserim Hills of western Thailand, the Erawan Falls cascade down 7 distinct tiers over a distance of 2 kilometers, creating what locals call the Stairway to Heaven. But these aren't ordinary waterfalls. Each tier has carved natural pools from limestone bedrock, creating a series of turquoise swimming holes so perfect they appear to have been designed by landscape architects rather than formed by geological processes. The falls are named after Erawan, the 3-headed white elephant from Hindu mythology, because the 7th and highest tier supposedly resembles the elephant's head. But the real magic lies in the water's impossible color, a brilliant turquoise that seems to glow from within, created by limestone minerals that filter and reflect light in ways that make the pools appear to be filled with liquid gemstones. Each tier offers a different experience. The first level features wide, shallow pools perfect for families, with water temperatures that remain constant at 25 degrees Celsius year-round. The second tier creates natural water slides carved into smooth limestone, while the third forms deep swimming holes surrounded by curtains of falling water. By the 4th tier, the pools become more secluded, accessible only to those willing to hike through dense jungle. But it's the upper tiers that truly defy belief. The 6th level features a pool so perfectly circular it appears artificial, surrounded by limestone formations that create natural diving platforms. The 7th tier, reached after a challenging 1.5-kilometer hike, reveals the source of this aquatic paradise: a spring that emerges from deep within the limestone mountain, carrying minerals that have been filtered through rock for thousands of years. The ecosystem surrounding Erawan Falls is equally extraordinary. The constant mist created by the falling water supports a microclimate that harbors over 80 species of birds, including hornbills, kingfishers, and the rare white-rumped shama. The pools themselves are home to unique fish species that have adapted to the mineral-rich water, including the famous doctor fish that provide natural pedicures to visitors. What makes Erawan truly magical is how the limestone continues to grow and change. The falls are actively depositing new limestone formations, creating travertine dams that slowly alter the shape and size of the pools. Visitors today are swimming in pools that didn't exist 100 years ago, while new formations are constantly emerging from the mineral-rich water. Covering 54 acres in the heart of Bangkok, the Grand Palace isn't just a building. It's an entire city dedicated to demonstrating the divine power of Thai royalty. Built in 1782, this complex contains over 100 structures that represent 200 years of Thai architectural evolution, creating a landscape so ornate and detailed that every surface tells a story from Thai mythology, history, or religious tradition. The palace's most famous structure, Wat Phra Kaeo, Temple of the Emerald Buddha, houses Thailand's most sacred object, a 66-centimeter-tall Buddha statue carved from a single piece of jade. But the temple itself is the real masterpiece, its walls covered in murals that tell the complete story of the Ramakien, Thai version of the Ramayana, across 178 scenes painted in gold leaf and precious pigments. What makes the Grand Palace truly extraordinary is its attention to detail. Every roof tile is individually crafted and painted, creating patterns that can only be fully appreciated from above. The buildings are decorated with over 2,000 mythical creatures: nagas, serpents, garudas, bird-like beings, and yakshas, demons, each carved from teak and covered in gold leaf that must be reapplied every few years to maintain its brilliance. The palace's engineering is equally impressive. Despite being built in a flood-prone area, the complex has never been damaged by Bangkok's frequent floods, thanks to a sophisticated drainage system that channels water through hidden canals beneath the courtyards. The buildings are constructed using traditional Thai techniques that allow them to flex during earthquakes while maintaining their structural integrity. The Chakri Maha Prasat Hall, known as the Farang, wearing a Chong Kraban, foreigner wearing Thai pants, perfectly embodies Thailand's ability to blend influences. The building combines European neoclassical architecture with traditional Thai rooflines, creating a structure that's simultaneously familiar and exotic. Its throne room contains the original throne of the Chakri dynasty, carved from a single piece of teak and inlaid with mother-of-pearl in patterns so intricate they require magnification to fully appreciate. But perhaps most remarkable is how the Grand Palace continues to function as a working royal residence and government center while serving as Thailand's most visited tourist attraction. Ceremonies that have been performed for over 200 years still take place in these halls, maintaining traditions that connect modern Thailand to its ancient roots. Jutting into the Andaman Sea like a limestone finger, the Railay Peninsula creates one of Thailand's most surreal landscapes. A beach destination that's technically part of the mainland, yet accessible only by boat due to towering cliffs that completely cut it off from the rest of Krabi province. This geographical isolation has preserved a paradise where world-class rock climbing, pristine beaches, and untouched jungle coexist in an area smaller than Central Park. Rayleigh's 4 beaches each offer completely different experiences within walking distance of each other. Railay West faces the sunset with soft white sand and calm waters perfect for swimming, while Railay East serves as the arrival point for longtail boats, its mangrove-lined shore creating a natural harbor. Phra Nang Beach, accessible through a short jungle trail, features a cave shrine dedicated to a mythical princess, while Tonsai Beach attracts rock climbers from around the world with its challenging limestone routes. The peninsula's limestone cliffs rise vertically from the beach to heights of over 200 meters, creating some of the world's most spectacular rock climbing. These aren't ordinary cliffs. The limestone is so pure and well-formed that it provides perfect handholds and footholds, while the rock's porosity creates natural drainage that keeps roots dry even during monsoon season. Over 700 climbing routes have been established on Railay, ranging from beginner-friendly sport climbs to multi-pitch adventures that require technical expertise. What makes Railay truly extraordinary is its ecosystem. The peninsula's isolation has created a unique environment where beach, jungle, and cliff ecosystems intersect within a few hundred meters. Hornbills nest in the cliff faces while flying foxes roost in the beachside trees. The tidal pools reveal a miniature world of sea anemones, hermit crabs, and tropical fish, while the jungle harbors monitor lizards, macaques, and over 100 species of birds. The famous Princess Cave, Phra Nang Cave, adds a mystical element to this natural paradise. Local fishermen believe the cave is home to a sea princess who controls the weather and fishing conditions. They leave offerings of wooden phalluses and flowers, creating a shrine that blends animist beliefs with Buddhist traditions. The cave itself extends deep into the limestone cliff, with chambers that can only be explored during low tide. Raylay's beaches demonstrate nature's artistic capabilities. The sand consists of crushed coral and shells that create a surface so reflective it mirrors the sky, while the water's clarity allows visibility to depths of 20 meters. The limestone cliffs continue underwater, creating a three-dimensional reef system that supports an incredible diversity of marine life. Rising from the central plains of Thailand like a stone garden frozen in time, Sukhothai Historical Park preserves the ruins of Thailand's first capital, a city so perfectly planned and beautifully constructed that its name means dawn of happiness. Built in the 13th century, Sukhothai represents the golden age of Thai civilization, when art, architecture, and urban planning reached heights that wouldn't be surpassed for centuries. The ancient city covers 70 square kilometers and contains 193 ruins within its walls, but it's the arrangement of these structures that creates the surreal beauty. Sukhothai was designed according to ancient Hindu-Buddhist cosmology, with temples representing Mount Meru, the center of the universe, surrounded by smaller structures that mirror the celestial realm. Walking through the park feels like exploring a three-dimensional mandala, where every path and vista was carefully planned to create spiritual experiences. Wat Mahathat, the park's centerpiece, demonstrates architectural techniques that seem impossible for the 13th century. The main chedi, pagoda, rises 40 meters into the sky. Its lotus bud shape perfectly proportioned according to mathematical principles that create optical illusions. The structure appears larger when viewed from a distance and smaller up close, defying normal perspective. The temple's 198 smaller chedis are arranged in patterns that align with astronomical events, creating a stone calendar that still accurately predicts eclipses and solstices. The park's most famous Buddha statue, housed in Wat Si Chum, creates one of Thailand's most powerful spiritual experiences. The 15-meter-tall seated Buddha is enclosed within a narrow chamber with an opening just wide enough to frame the statue's face. As visitors approach through the dark corridor, the Buddha's serene expression gradually comes into view, creating an encounter so profound that many describe it as life-changing. The statue's fingers alone are 3 meters long, yet the proportions are so perfect that the entire figure appears natural and approachable. What makes Sukhothai truly extraordinary is its hydraulic engineering. The ancient city was built around a sophisticated water management system that included reservoirs, canals, and dikes that controlled flooding while providing irrigation for rice fields. The largest reservoir covers 18 square kilometers and still supplies water to surrounding communities 700 years after its construction. The system was so advanced that it included overflow channels, settling ponds, and distribution networks that rival modern water treatment facilities. The park's lotus ponds add another layer of surreal beauty. These aren't decorative features. They're functional elements of the water management system that also serve spiritual purposes. During the rainy season, the ponds fill with pink and white lotus blossoms that create floating gardens around the ancient temples. The lotus, sacred in Buddhist tradition, was integrated into the city's design so that spiritual symbolism and practical engineering worked together. Covering 2,168 square kilometers of pristine wilderness, just 3 hours from Bangkok, Khao Yai National Park preserves one of Southeast Asia's last intact ecosystems, where wild elephants still roam freely and waterfalls plunge from heights that create their own weather systems. This isn't just a nature reserve, it's a functioning ecosystem where apex predators, from tigers to king cobras, maintain the natural balance that has existed for millions of years. The park's elephant population of over 300 individuals represents one of Thailand's conservation success stories. These aren't zoo animals or tourist attractions. They're wild Asian elephants living in family groups that follow migration patterns established over millennia. Watching a herd emerge from the jungle at dusk, their massive forms silhouetted against the setting sun creates encounters that remind visitors of humanity's place in the natural world. Khao Yai's waterfalls demonstrate nature's raw power on an almost incomprehensible scale. Hayu Narak Falls, the park's tallest at 150 meters, creates a mist cloud that can be seen from 10 kilometers away. The waterfall's 3 tiers each create different ecosystems. The upper tier supports cloud forest vegetation. The middle tier creates a spray zone where orchids and ferns thrive, and the lower tier forms deep pools where otters and water monitors hunt for fish. The park's night sounds create one of the world's most complex natural symphonies. Over 400 bird species contribute to dawn and dusk choruses that can be heard from kilometers away, while the calls of gibbons echo through valleys like natural opera. The park's 67 mammal species include nocturnal hunters, whose presence is revealed only by tracks, calls, and the occasional glimpse of eyes reflecting flashlight beams. What makes Khao Yai truly extraordinary is its vertical diversity. The park's elevation ranges from 400 to 1,351 meters, creating multiple climate zones within a single protected area. The lowland forests support different species than the montane forests, while the grasslands and bamboo groves each harbor their own specialized communities. This diversity means that a single day's hike can reveal ecosystems that would normally require traveling thousands of kilometers to experience. The park's role as a wildlife corridor connects it to other protected areas across Southeast Asia, allowing genetic exchange between populations and maintaining the biodiversity that makes this region one of the world's biological hotspots. Tigers still hunt here, though sightings are rare, while leopards, bears, and over 200 snake species maintain the predator-prey relationships that keep the ecosystem healthy. Rising 2,565 meters above sea level, Doi Inthanon stands as Thailand's highest peak, creating a mountain ecosystem so unique that it harbors species found nowhere else on Earth. Known as the Roof of Thailand, this mountain demonstrates how elevation can create entirely different worlds within a single country, where temperate forests thrive just hours away from tropical beaches. The mountain's most spectacular features are the twin pagodas built to honor King Bhumibol and Queen Sirikit on their 60th birthdays. These aren't ancient structures. They were completed in 1992, yet they've already become iconic symbols of how modern Thailand honors its natural heritage. The pagodas are surrounded by formal gardens that showcase flowers from around the world, creating a horticultural paradise at an elevation where most tropical plants cannot survive. Doi Inthanon's waterfalls create some of Thailand's most dramatic natural spectacles. Wachirathan Falls plunges 80 meters down a granite cliff face, creating a mist cloud that supports its own microclimate. The waterfall's power is so intense that it generates winds strong enough to blow visitors off their feet, while the constant spray creates rainbow effects that dance through the mist throughout the day. The mountain's bird life is extraordinary, with over 380 species recorded, including many that exist only at high elevations. The green-tailed sunbird, found nowhere else in Thailand, feeds on rhododendron nectar in the mountain's cloud forests, while the white-browed shortwing inhabits bamboo thickets that grow only above 2,000 meters elevation. What makes Doi Inthanon truly surreal is its climate. While Bangkok swelters at 35 degrees Celsius, the mountain's peak can experience temperatures near freezing, creating Thailand's only temperate ecosystem. The summit is often shrouded in clouds that create a mystical atmosphere, where ancient trees emerge from mist like ghosts, and the silence is broken only by the calls of birds that exist nowhere else in Southeast Asia. The mountain's role as a watershed is equally important. Doi Inthanon's forests capture moisture from monsoon clouds, feeding rivers that supply water to millions of people across northern Thailand. The mountain's conservation isn't just about preserving biodiversity. It's about maintaining the hydrological cycle that makes life possible across the region. Long before social media existed, Maya Bay on Koh Phi Phi Lay was already legendary among travelers as the most beautiful beach on Earth. When The Beach, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, was filmed here in 1999, it introduced this hidden paradise to the world, creating a tourism phenomenon that eventually forced authorities to close the bay to allow its ecosystem to recover. Today, Maya Bay represents both the incredible beauty of Thailand's natural heritage and the challenges of protecting paradise in the age of mass tourism. The bay itself defies description, a perfect circle of white sand beach enclosed by 100-meter-high limestone cliffs, accessible only through a narrow channel that's invisible until you're almost inside. The water maintains a constant temperature of 28 degrees Celsius and clarity that extends to 30 meters underwater, while the beach consists of sand so fine it squeaks underfoot and reflects the sky like a mirror. What made Maya Bay truly extraordinary wasn't just its beauty, but its ecosystem. The enclosed lagoon created a unique marine environment where black-tip reef sharks patrolled the shallows, while tropical fish species found nowhere else in Thailand thrived in the bay's protected waters. The limestone cliffs supported vegetation that existed only in this microclimate, including orchids that bloomed in the spray zone where waves crashed against the rocks. The bay's closure from 2018 to 2022 allowed scientists to study how quickly marine ecosystems can recover when given the chance. Within months of the last tourist boat departing, shark populations began to increase, coral reefs started regenerating, and fish species that had disappeared returned to the bay. The recovery was so dramatic that it became a model for marine conservation across Southeast Asia. Maya Bay's reopening in 2022 with strict visitor limits demonstrates Thailand's commitment to sustainable tourism. Only 300 visitors per day are now allowed. Boats cannot enter the bay itself, and swimming is prohibited to protect the recovering coral reefs. The result is a more exclusive but also more meaningful experience, where visitors can appreciate the bay's beauty while knowing their presence isn't destroying what they came to see. The bay's fame also highlights the power of cinema to shape travel patterns. The Beach created a global phenomenon that brought millions of visitors to Thailand, demonstrating how a single film location can transform an entire region's economy while also threatening the very beauty that made it famous. In the small town of Khun Han in Sisaket Province, Buddhist monks have created one of the world's most unusual temples using over 1.5 million recycled beer bottles. Wat Lan Quad, Temple of Million Bottles, isn't just an environmental statement. It's a functioning monastery that demonstrates how Buddhist principles of non-waste and mindfulness can create beauty from discarded materials. The temple complex includes the main prayer hall, monks' quarters, crematorium, and even toilets, all constructed primarily from green Heineken and brown Chang beer bottles. The bottles aren't just decorative elements. They're structural components that provide insulation, natural lighting, and ventilation, while creating walls that shimmer like stained glass when sunlight passes through them. Construction began in 1984, when the temple's abbot, concerned about the environmental impact of discarded bottles, began collecting them from local restaurants and bars. The project took over 20 years to complete, with monks and volunteers carefully placing each bottle to create patterns that incorporate Buddhist symbols and Thai artistic motifs. The bottle caps are used to create mosaics that tell stories from Buddhist scripture, while the bottles themselves are arranged to allow natural light to filter through in ways that create spiritual atmospheres. What makes Wat Lan Quad truly extraordinary is how it functions as both an environmental project and a spiritual center. The temple's construction diverted millions of bottles from landfills while creating a place of worship that attracts visitors from around the world. The monks use the temple's fame to teach about Buddhist principles of reducing waste and living in harmony with the environment. The temple's acoustics, created by the hollow bottles, produce unique sound effects during chanting sessions. The bottles act as resonators that amplify and modify the monks' voices, creating harmonics that don't exist in conventional temples. Visitors often describe the experience as otherworldly, with chanting that seems to emerge from the walls themselves. The success of Wat Lan Quad has inspired similar projects across Thailand, demonstrating how religious communities can lead environmental conservation efforts while maintaining their spiritual missions. The temple proves that sustainability and beauty aren't mutually exclusive. They can work together to create something more meaningful than either could achieve alone. Rising from the Gulf of Thailand like a granite mountain, Koh Tao, Turtle Island, has transformed from a remote prison island into one of the world's premier diving destinations, where crystal-clear waters, abundant marine life, and perfect weather conditions create an underwater paradise that attracts divers from every continent. The island's transformation is remarkable. Just 30 years ago, Koh Tao was uninhabited except for a small fishing community. Today, it's home to over 50 dive shops that certify more new divers than anywhere else in the world, while maintaining marine conservation programs that have made it a model for sustainable diving tourism. Koh Tao's underwater landscape is as dramatic as its terrestrial beauty. The island is surrounded by granite boulders that continue underwater, creating a three-dimensional reef system with swim-throughs, caverns, and pinnacles that rise from depths of 30 meters to just below the surface. These granite formations, combined with hard and soft corals, create habitats for over 300 species of fish, including whale sharks that visit the island's waters regularly. The island's most famous dive site, Chumphon Pinnacle, demonstrates nature's architectural capabilities underwater. This granite tower rises from a depth of 36 meters to within 14 meters of the surface, creating a vertical reef system that supports different species at each level. Barracuda spiral around the pinnacle in silver tornadoes, while giant trevally patrol the deeper waters, and reef sharks rest in the sandy channels between the rocks. What makes Koh Tao truly special is its role in marine conservation. The island's dive operators have established artificial reefs, coral restoration programs, and marine protected areas that have increased fish populations and coral coverage. The island's waters now support healthy populations of species that have disappeared from other parts of the Gulf of Thailand, making it a refuge for marine biodiversity. The island's turtle conservation program, which gives Koh Tao its name, has successfully increased nesting populations of hawksbill and green turtles. Visitors can participate in turtle monitoring programs, coral restoration projects, and beach cleanups that make their vacation contribute to conservation efforts. Koh Tao's success demonstrates how tourism and conservation can work together when properly managed. The island's economy depends entirely on healthy marine ecosystems, creating powerful incentives for environmental protection that benefit both wildlife and local communities. As our journey through Thailand's most unreal destinations comes to an end, we're left with a profound understanding of how this remarkable country challenges every assumption about what's possible on our planet. From floating markets that operate like aquatic cities to temples that seem carved from light itself, from islands that exist in perfect isolation to mountains that create their own weather systems, Thailand reveals itself as a country where the impossible becomes everyday reality. What strikes me most about these extraordinary places is how they demonstrate the incredible creativity that emerges when human culture and natural beauty work in harmony rather than opposition. The floating markets of Damnoen Saduak show us how commerce can flow like water when it follows natural rhythms rather than fighting them. The White Temple of Wat Rong Kun proves that spiritual architecture can evolve and adapt while maintaining its sacred purpose. The ancient cities of Sukhothai and Ayutthaya demonstrate how urban planning can create beauty that lasts for centuries when it respects the landscape it inhabits. Perhaps most importantly, Thailand's wonders teach us about resilience and renewal. Maya Bay's recovery after tourism closure shows how quickly nature can heal when given the chance. The Temple of a Million Bottles proves that waste can become beauty through mindful transformation. The conservation success stories of Koh Tao and Khao Yai demonstrate that economic prosperity and environmental protection aren't mutually exclusive. They can enhance each other when communities commit to sustainable practices. In our modern world of climate change and environmental degradation, Thailand's approach to living with nature rather than conquering it offers profound lessons. These aren't just tourist destinations. They're examples of how human civilization can create extraordinary beauty while maintaining the ecological balance that makes life possible. The Thai concept of sanuk, finding joy in life, extends beyond personal happiness to include joy in preserving the natural world for future generations. Thailand's unreal places also remind us of the power of wonder in human experience. In an age of virtual reality and digital entertainment, these destinations offer something that no technology can replicate: the profound satisfaction of witnessing natural and cultural achievements that expand our understanding of what's possible. Standing before the towering cliffs of Railay, swimming in the turquoise pools of Erawan Falls, or watching elephants emerge from the jungle at Khao Yai creates memories that change how we see both the world and our place in it. The country's ability to preserve ancient traditions while embracing modernity offers hope for other nations struggling to balance development with conservation. Thailand shows us that progress doesn't require abandoning cultural heritage or destroying natural beauty. It requires finding creative ways to honor the past while building a sustainable future. As we face global challenges that require unprecedented cooperation between nations, cultures, and generations, Thailand's wonders remind us of what we're fighting to preserve. These places represent more than just beautiful destinations. They're proof of humanity's capacity to create and maintain extraordinary beauty across centuries and millennia. They challenge us to think beyond short-term profits and immediate gratification, to consider what kind of world we want to leave for our children and grandchildren. The next time you see images of Thailand's impossible landscapes, remember that they're not just pretty pictures. They're invitations to experience wonder, to support conservation, and to participate in the ongoing story of how humans and nature can create beauty together. These destinations exist because generations of Thai people chose to preserve them rather than exploit them, demonstrating that the most valuable treasures are those we protect rather than consume. Thailand's unreal places are ultimately real reminders of our planet's incredible capacity for beauty, diversity, and renewal. They show us that paradise isn't a mythical destination. It's something we can create and preserve through wisdom, dedication, and respect for the natural world that sustains us all. In a time when many people feel disconnected from nature and overwhelmed by global problems, Thailand offers hope, inspiration, and proof that extraordinary beauty is still possible when we choose to make it a priority. These wonders of Thailand don't just exist to be admired. They exist to inspire us to create similar beauty in our own communities, to protect the natural spaces that remain, and to remember that the most unreal places on Earth are often the most real reminders of what makes life worth living. The Land of Smiles teaches us that the greatest adventures aren't about conquering nature or accumulating experiences. They're about discovering our connection to the incredible world we share and our responsibility to preserve its wonders for all who will come after us.